It was summer. My wife and 6 month old son had gone up to Kasoli to stay with her parents. One afternoon, when I came home for lunch, I found a tankard of beer and lady's handbag on table and a heavy aroma of French perfume in my sitting room. I tiptoed to the kitchen to ask my cook who it was. I don't know, he replied, a mem saab in a sari. She she asked for you. I told her that you would be back for lunch. She looked around the flat and helped herself to the beer from the fridge. She's in the bathroom. I had no doubt it could only be Amrita Shergil. And it was. She came into a sitting room and introduced herself. She told me of the flat she had rented across the road and wanted advice about carpenters, plumbers, and tailors, and the like. I told her whatever I knew about such people. I tried to size her up. I could not look at her in the face too long because she had a bold, brazen kind of look which makes timid men like me turn their gaze downwards. She was short and sallow, complex, being half Sikh and half Hungarian. Her hair was parted in the middle and tightly bound at the back. She had bulbous nose with the black heads showing. She was she had a thick lips with faint shadow of mustache. I told her that I had heard a lot about her paintings and pointed some of the watercolors on the wall which my wife had done. She is just learning to paint, I said by the way of explanation. That's obvious. She snorted. Politeness was not one of her virtues. She believed in speaking her mind, however rude or unkind it be. A few weeks later, I had another sample of her rudeness. I had picked up my wife and son from Kasoli and taken them to Mashbora. Amrita was staying with her friends, the Chaman Lals, who had rented a house a little above my father's, and I had invited them for lunch. We were having beer and gin slings on the open platform under the shade of yellow holly oak. My son was in a playpen learning to stand on his feet. Everyone was paying him compliments. He was very pretty little child with curly hair and large questioning eyes, dimpled cheeks. What an ugly little boy, remarked Amrita. Others protested their embarrassment. My wife rose. Amrita continued to drink her beer without concern. Later, when she heard what my wife had said about her manners, she had described her as bloody bitch. Amrita told her informant, I will teach that woman a lesson. I'll seduce her husband. The day of the seduction never came. When we returned to Lahore, my wife described our home out of bounds for Amrita. Some months later, common friends told us that Amrita was not well. One night, a cousin of hers came over to spend the night with us because Amrita was too ill to have guests. He told us that she was delirious and kept mumbling calls at bridge. She was an avid bridge player. Next morning, we heard she was dead. She was barely 31. That is the piece from Truth, Love, and Little Malice by Khushwant Singh. It's an old book that I was reading, and I just tried to share this snippet with you.